Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Liza Nurasana Lubis. I'm from TBI 4D. In this video, I will explain about the method of translation. Okay, the first is about word-for-word translation. This is often demonstrated as interlinear translation with the TL immediately below SL word. The SL word order is reserved for translate simply by their most common meanings out of context. Cultural words are translated literally. The main use of word-of-word translation is either to understand the short language or reconstruct a difficult text as a pretty translate process. Next is about literal translation. The SL grammatical construction are converted to their nearest TL equivalent, but the lexical words are again translated singly out of context. As a process, this indicates the problem to be solved. Faithful translation. A faithful translation attempts to reproduce the precise contextual meaning of the original within the constraint of the TL grammatical structure. Faithful translation. A faithful translation attempts to reproduce the precise contextual meaning of the original within the constraint of the TL grammatical structure. For cultural words and reflect the degree of grammatical and lexical abnormality in the translation. It attempts to be completely faithful to the intention, the text realization of the SL was. Semantic translation. Semantic translation differs from faithful translation only is as far as it must take more account of the aesthetic value. It might translate less important culturally neutral third of functional terms, but not by cultural equivalence. The distinction between faithful and semantic translation is that the first is uncom and dogmatic, while the second is more flexible, admits the creative expectation to 100% fidelity and translation intuitive empathy with the original. The next is about adaptation. This is the first form of translation. It is used mainly for play, comedies, and poetry. The themes, character, plot are usually the SL character converted to the TL character and the text rewritten. The deplorable practice of having a play of poem literally translated rewritten by an established dramatist or poet has produced many poor adaptations, but other adaptations have preserved prior produce the matter without the manner or the content without the form of the original. Usually it is a paraphrase of much longer than the original. So, interlingual translation, often prolific and pretentious, and not translation. Idiomatic translation. Idiomatic translation reproduces the message of the original but tends to distort nuances of meaning by preferring colloquialism where these do not exist in the original. And the last is about communicative translation. Communicative translation attempts to render the actual contextual meaning of the original in such a way that both content and language are readable and comprehensible to the readers. And the next we will discuss about method and text categories. Considering the application of the two translation methods, semantic and communicative, to the three text categories, suggested and informative texts are translated to literary and expressive texts not literary enough. On the other hand, the inability of translate literary has much to attempt to to see translation as an exercise in style to get the flavor or the spirit of the art. In expressive text, the unit of translation is likely to be small, sans word rather than synthesis content the finest nuances of meaning. Further, they are likely to be fewer stock language colloquialism, stock metaphors, and collocation. In the other text, however, any type and length of script must be translated by filter. However, better is reflect on the translator. As for the process of translation, it is often generally used to translate more than a sentence or two before reading the first 2 or 3 paragraphs, unless a quick glance convinces you that the text is going to present few problems. In fact, the more difficult linguistically cultural. The next is about other method. The first is surface translation. Translation from one's language of habitual use into another language. The term is not widely used, but as is necessary in most countries, a term is required. For translation, the prose translation of poem and poetic dramatic initiated by E.V. Liu or Penguin is about information translation. This contests the information in a non-literary text, sometimes rearranged in a more logical form, sometimes partly summarized, and not in the form of a cognitive translation. This reproduces the information in visually converting this grammar to its normal and normally reducing and figurative to read. The last is about academic translation. This type of translation practiced in some British universities reads an original Israel text to an elegant idiomatic educated version which follow a non-existent literary register. It irons out the expressiveness of a writer with modest colloquial. It's all can I say. If I have mistake, I'm sorry for that. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you.